Right. Chelsea versus Sunderland. Where do I even begin with this? Score scores the first goal in 2 minutes, and here I am thinking, wow, we are really in the rhythm of scoring and putting up great performances on the back of 4 wins in a row. And then coming into the Sunderland game, scoring within 2 minutes. Garnacho, great goal, no complaints whatsoever. Fantastic start to the game. And then, as the game went on, we had a few half chances, if I should say. Kukurea looked very threatening when he went into those positions, yeah, playing up front, as almost as a second striker. So it kind of worked to an extent, but as the game went on, and the more we grew into the later stages of the first half, our performance just dropped and kept dipping and dipping. And then after they scored the equalizer, it was just downhill from there. And I made a short video, just at the stroke of halftime, and I was still very confident of us getting the result, because I've always been very I've always backed Maresca, and I'll still back him, no question about that. I'm not one of those guys who will just react uh, abruptly and to one. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I still am in a shock because of that defeat. And you know what, yeah, coming back to the video that I made, yeah, I was very confident of us getting the job done in the second half, because I have this has been a trend with under Maresca's reign, coming into the second year, that we have looked a better team in the second half. We 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 switch on heavily, and we look very sharp and aggressive, and our intensity just increases the more we get into the game, but more so at the start of the second half, I expected a jump in the performance. Like, this has been the case more often than not, in most of the matches that we have played under Maresca. This has been a trending pattern of play, that we come out of the come out of the come out onto the pitch on the second half, and just look to score an early goal, and set the tone right for the entirety of the half. But to my surprise, when we came back on the pitch, we looked even more dreadful and flat. I have like there have been like bad performances. It'll be quite dramatic for me to say that this was the worst performance I've seen under Maresca. There have been bad performances, and this is surely among one of them, if not the worst. It was so bad. The second half was just pathetic. We could not create anything, anything. And given the fact that we had a striker like Marquio, I've been really speaking highly of him of late, and it puts a stinker, man. It lets me down heavily in this game. We just kept passing side to side without any intensity, without any kind of incisive, or any we didn't show any creativity. Maresca, I think, lost his head, like after minute 75 or 70, because he kept trying too many things. I don't know how many times did our front three change in that entire game. One minute I see Pedro Neto playing on the right. Cool, he doesn't fit into that. So in second half he moves over to the left, and it was all so messy and confusing, right? And then Gittins comes on, and then he goes back on the right again. But this guy Renildo, he comes from the institution of Diego Simeone, and what a performance he put in, man. Pocketed Neto, couldn't Estevao. I mean, I cannot be too harsh on this kid, man. He's just coming to the Premier League. Give him a break, and even, yeah, he looked completely in his pocket. Like, we looked flat. Nothing came of that right hand side during the entirety of the 96 minutes that we played. The only outlet that we seem to have in the game was Garnacho, but I think even he got checked out of the game as the game progressed, and mostly we relied on back passes and just circling the ball from left to right and right to left uh, with no intent, no idea to score, no movement up top, and even if we had Marquio up top, we were not like crossing the ball enough in the second half, and it just goes to show that we just do not have the aerial presence in the box to score from crosses and um, score from crosses specifically because again surprisingly we have done well from corners, but again it has to do with a lot. It has to come down to the set piece coach that we have had, and he clearly focuses on like the pattern of play that we see during our corner kicks are very similar. Like we try to go near post, get a flick on from our first from the first man, and then we tend to we pray that someone will get at the end of the flick on and score. That's how we have mostly been like threatening from corners. But when it comes to open play, we do not have the facilities to score from crosses. It's just not there, and Liam Delap could not come in like sooner. I mean, he is direly needed at this point in time. Uh, Starting Joao Pedro, what a stinker of a performance that was, man. He looked lazy. He looked lazy. He ran out of ideas. There was no forward thinking. There was no link up play. Neto looked flat. The defenders, like I'm not gonna get into that, man. This is just peak. This is peak. We know how shit they are. Individually, Tosin cannot defend 1v1 situations. He's just out of his depth. He's just not at that level, man. Just not at that level to start games for Chelsea, and it clearly shows. He just he just lacks the attributes that is required of a world class defender at Chelsea, because he cannot defend 1v1. He's good at defending or winning long balls, and he can have a good game here and there, but there's no consistency when it comes to him. I'm not much, I don't have an agenda against Chalova, but it's funny that whenever Chalova has played this season, and I know this might come off as very superstitious, very negative in the day of modern science and quantum physics or whatever the fuck that is. I mean, he just looks he whenever he starts for us, we just drop points, man. I can't remember a game where he started for us and we won the game. I think apart from the game against Fulham where we won 2-0. Every time he has started for us, we have looked shaky. We have, for some or the other inexplicable reason, we have dropped points. And this game being another example of it. I'm not blaming him for mostly the two goals that we conceded, but it's just what it is. At Chiampong, I have been always positive about all the decisions Maresca takes. Um, you know, trying to look at the positive side of things. Maybe there's a bigger picture to what I see as a fan from the outside. Maybe Maresca knows better as to what's going on, and he's doing what's best for the club. But I'll not just blindly like back everything that he does. Today was these substitutions didn't make sense, man. You want to protect them, but at what cost? At what cost are you protecting players? Are you getting paid to protect players and nurse them? Is this some sort of a medical institution that you're put in charge of, where you are supposed to nurse players back into good health and make sure they're fit? Or are you getting paid to win football matches for Chelsea Football Club? Rotation is fine to an extent, but taking off your best centre back at minute 75, did not make any sense to me whatsoever. Like Achiampong, ever since he has stepped into this starting 11 for us, he has been fantastic on the ball and off the ball. On the ball, he looks like the player, the elegant player that we need when it comes to playing out from the back. He's looked class. He drives with the ball. He's good at finding those passes right into the half spaces. He has a lot of qualities that Levi has, to be very honest, and he has slotted in perfectly as a short, maybe as a short term replacement for Levi. But doesn't make any sense to change your backline. I mean, backline is something that, let alone change in a game. You do not even want to change your backline throughout the season. I mean, I remember there have been seasons where we stuck with the same backline. Fucking John Terry started 38 games for us in the Premier League under Antonio Conte when we won the league. A backline should remain as stable as possible. You cannot change your backline, especially when you're not winning the game like 2-0 or 3-0, and you've killed the game off. At high stakes situation, you're taking your best center back off when you know that your defense is shit and you're prone to conceding. Because as deeper the game went on, I knew that we would end up conceding. It would not end up 1-1, and given how poor we were attacking wise, it was just a matter of time before we conceded. And it was not surprising to me, although it was not surprising to me at all, even though it was so disappointing to see. Like, I was disappointed, but I was not surprised. And this game has broken me a lot. It has affected me even on a physical level. I look like I posted a short video. You can check it out. I look like a guy who didn't take a bath for 10 days. That's how horrible I looked. That's how physically, emotionally drained this performance took a toll on my health. And every time I put up, I formed some sort of an expectation from this team that, okay, fine, we are kicking things on now. Get a stab in the back from them, man. For the sake of my sanity, I don't think so. I'll be able to expect much going forward. I need to protect myself as well, man. I'll be the happiest person in the world if Chelsea goes on to do great things, but I cannot keep expecting things from them if time and again they do this to me. And today, United are going to win this game for sure. For sure, they'll win this game, and they're going to go above us in the league. How does that sound, man? How does that feel? I have been one of those, people who are very close to me in my personal space. Know that I've been one of those people who never bantered United, even when they were struggling. I've been always backing Amorim to do well. I'm going off topic a bit, but yeah, this is what it is. Amorim is going to turn it around for United. For he will be that guy because he's working so hard, and his style of play shows that there is progression to it, and there are clear weaknesses that you can see. Okay, you sort this, things will get better. But when it comes to our team, today's performance, it was inexplicable. Like, that is where my problem is. I do not know. Like, come on, having Levi Colwill out isn't an excuse for us to lose against Sunderland, with all due respect. We had the team, we still had a good enough team to win against them, but it seemed like we ran out of ideas in terms of how to approach the game, in terms of, you know, in terms of competing with the physicality of their players. We just did not have it in us. I remember there was this one moment, minute 83 or minute 82. Um, Sanchez rolls the ball out to Caicedo. Caicedo takes the ball and just goes on for a walk in the park. No one's pressing him. There's ample space. He just goes on a walkabout with his friend in the park and then just gives the laziest pass imaginable to Reece James, which gets intercepted and they start an attack. That summed up our game, man, today. And I've never seen, like, I never thought that I would say after a football, watching a game of football for Chelsea, that Caicedo would have a stinker. Caicedo had a stinker today, man. He did not play well. He was so sloppy in possession. He missed time tackles. His passing was all over the place. He gave away the ball way too many times. He did not create anything. I'm not even going to get into Enzo, man. This guy is so hot and cold. I don't know. I don't know what to say about him. This was a tough one to take. This was really, really a tough one to take. I don't know what Paul Scholes said on the overlap. Like with Chelsea, you never know what you're gonna get from them. One time you have a fantastic performance against Liverpool, the next day you show up hungover, like we did today. If we played like as if we had won the league, like with 3 games to spare, and this is something that we are doing out of formality, and we are just hungover. Shocking performance, absolutely embarrassing. We have lost 2 games at home this season, one against Brighton and one against Sunderland now. Both of these games we should be winning at least at home, if not away. I don't know if even if we are going to finish top 4. It's not a crisis. I'm not being reactionary. Like, it's not a crisis at Chelsea. Things are it is what it is. This is the reality of the situation. Yeah, the best thing what we can do is go on a win a cup, and in Champions League, I think, given the physicality of the Premier League is not there, I think we might end up doing better in the Champions League. That's surprising enough, but yes, we might. It's a hot take from me. We might go on to do better in the Champions League rather than the Premier League, because these young players that have come in, like Estevao and Andre Santos, and again Garnacho is, again, look at, not very physical players, man. They are not up to the physicality of the Premier League. Again, if Liam Delap comes in, he might open up a different avenue, but that's a debate, or that's a thought for another day. We'll see what happens as the season goes on. It's pretty early into the season, but I don't know. I honestly don't know where we are gonna end up this season, like end of season. Let me check the score. Like what's United on about? I think the last I saw was Konya score a beautiful, beautiful goal. What's the score now? Oh, it's 2-0 to Man United. Well played, yeah. This is, see what I'm telling. Yeah. Ruben Amorim will turn it around for United. He will. He, when at times you see a very, very humble, hard-working person who's down to earth, and he's working his ass off. He's emotionally hurt. It's visibly you can see that, and you just want good for that guy. You don't want him to suffer. That's what I feel for Amorim, man, and I just hope that he turns it around, but not at the cost of us having to drop points against Sunderland, man. We should be doing our job as well. What the fuck, man? I'm out of here. Bye, guys. And yeah, if you do like the video, like, subscribe, whatever, man. I'm just not in the mood. Just ruined my weekend.